Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're doing something a little different. We're cutting through all the noise and using pure hard data to pinpoint the 10 most predictable, most repeated question concepts for your upcoming Neet exam. So, you ready? Let's get right into it.
Look, I get it. The Neet syllabus is just massive. You've got physics, chemistry, botany, zoology. It feels like you're trying to drink from a fire hose, right? And the pressure to know every single detail is just intense. But here's the thing. What if there was a smarter way to prepare?
That's right. We went back and crunched the numbers on the last 5 years of official Neet question papers. And let me tell you, the patterns are crystal clear. There are certain concepts that don't just pop up once or twice, they show up again and again and again. So let's count down the top 10 questions you can almost bet on seeing.
Kicking off our countdown at number 10, we've got a classic question from biomolecules.
It's a question you've probably seen in some form. Which of the following are not secondary metabolites in plants? They'll give you options like vinblastin, rubber, morphine, and then something like amino acids and glucose. See, the examiner loves to check if you can spot the difference between primary and secondary metabolites. The examples might change, but the core concept, it's always the same. So what do you think the answer is?
And the correct answer is, of course, number 4, amino acids and glucose. So concept clear, huh? Secondary metabolites aren't directly involved in growth or development. Think of things like alkaloids, toxins, or drugs. But amino acids and glucose? They're primary metabolites. They're absolutely essential for life processes like making proteins and respiration. Nail down that one simple difference, and you're golden for this type of question.
All right, let's keep the momentum going. Coming in at number 9, we're jumping into the super high-yield unit of ecology.
You'll almost certainly see a question like this. Which one of the following is an example of ex situ conservation? In situ versus ex situ. This is a classic trap that so many students fall into. They want to know if you really understand the basic difference between the two main conservation strategies.
And the answer is zoos and botanical gardens. The key is in the name. Ex situ means off-site conservation. Just think exit. You're taking the species out of its natural habitat to protect it. Zoos and botanical gardens are the perfect examples of this. Everything else, like national parks and wildlife sanctuaries, that's all in situ or on-site conservation. Simple, right?
Coming in hot at number 8, we're sticking with ecology for a concept that's a real heavyweight.
The evil quartet. I mean, with a name like that, you know it's got to be important, right? This question is super direct. It asks you to name the number 1 biggest villain when it comes to species going extinct. It's not enough to know the 4 causes, you have to know which one does the most damage.
And the answer is habitat loss and fragmentation. Here's the bottom line. While all 4 causes are bad, absolutely nothing is worse than destroying an animal's home. I mean, jab jungle hai hi nahi rahega, to janwar kahan rahenge? It's the most direct, most devastating cause of extinction, which makes it a favorite for examiners.
All right, at number 7, we've got another fascinating puzzle from ecology, this time about how nature keeps the peace. Seriously, think about this for a second. If you have 2 different species fighting over the exact same food source, how on earth do they both manage to survive? This question is all about the clever evolutionary trick that species use to avoid going head-to-head and, well, live to see another day.
And the answer is a super smart strategy called resource partitioning. It basically means they agree to share. They learn to use the same resource in different ways. For example, one species might hunt during the day and the other hunts at night. Or maybe they feed on different parts of the same plant. It's just evolution's clever way of making sure everyone gets a piece of the pie. Okay, let's switch gears and jump from biology over to chemistry. At number 6, we're tackling a graphical question, which is a skill you absolutely positively have to master.
See, they don't just want you to memorize a formula. They want you to see it. They want you to visualize the relationship. This question on Boyle's law is a perfect test of whether you understand that inverse relationship between pressure and volume and what it actually looks like on a graph.
The correct answer here is graph number 1. It's simple, really. Boyle's law tells us that pressure is inversely proportional to volume. So, whenever you plot P versus V, you're always going to get this specific curve, a rectangular hyperbola. And remember, if they tried to trick you and plot P versus 1 by V, then it would be a straight line through the origin. Getting that relationship is everything.
And just like that, we've hit the top 5. And holding down this spot is another graphical question, but this time it's from a huge topic in modern physics.
The photoelectric effect is an absolute pet topic for the people who set the Neet paper, and this question gets right to the heart of it. What actually changes the photoelectric current? Is it how bright the light is, or is it the frequency of the light? Being able to read these graphs tells them everything they need to know about your understanding.
The correct answer is option 3, which includes graphs A and D. So, concept clear here? The photoelectric current is directly tied to the light's intensity. More intensity means more photons, which means more current. That's what graph A shows. But the current does not depend on the frequency, as long as you're above that minimum threshold. And that's exactly what graph D shows.
Coming in at number 4 is a classic from inorganic chemistry that's all about testing your command over periodic trends.
Okay, here's a little insider tip. These find the incorrect statement questions are a favorite because they're super efficient. They let the examiner test you on 4 different concepts all in one go. You've got to be sharp and know your trends across the entire periodic table, up, down, left, and right.
The incorrect statement here is option 4. And here's the deal. As you go down that group, the acidic strength increases. Now, here's the key relationship you have to remember. A stronger acid always has a lower pKa value. So the pKa value should be decreasing as you go down the group, but the option shows it increasing. And boom, that's the mistake.
We are officially in the top 3, and now we're entering what is arguably the single most important chapter for Neet biology, cell cycle and cell division.
This question is all about precision. It's not good enough to just know what happens in prophase 1. You have to know the specific events of all the substages: leptotene, zygotene, pachytene, diplotin, and diakinesis. Recombination nodules are a landmark event, but the question is, where exactly do they show up?
And the answer is pachytene. Now, here's a super simple memory trick so you never forget this again. Think of pachytene as the stage where the genetic packet exchange, or crossing over, happens. So just remember, P for pachytene, P for packet exchange. Easy. Our runner-up, the second most predictable question, is another absolute fundamental from the same chapter. And honestly, this is one that separates the people who really know their stuff from everyone else. This is it. This is the ultimate test of whether you truly understand the difference between meiosis I and meiosis II. One is a reductional division, the other is equational. And the splitting of the centromere, that's the defining moment that tells you which one you're looking at.
And the correct answer is anaphase II. This is a non-negotiable concept you have to master. Just remember, in all of meiosis I, the homologous chromosomes separate, but the centromere stays intact. Meiosis II is basically just like mitosis, and it's in anaphase II that the centromere finally splits to pull the sister chromatids apart. And here we are, the #1 most predictable question for the Neet exam, and it's backed by undeniable proof that sometimes history really does repeat itself.
I want you to look at this slide very, very carefully. On the left, you see a question from the Neet 2021 paper. On the right, a question from the Neet 2022 paper. It is the exact same question, word for word. The only thing they did was shuffle the options. This is the ultimate proof that these patterns are real. And the answer for both years is diakinesis. The proof is right in front of you. This is exactly why this kind of analysis is so incredibly powerful. The terminalization of chiasmata, which is just that final movement of the crossover point to the very ends of the chromosome, that is the signature event of diakinesis. Mastering these key events isn't just a good idea, it's absolutely essential.
So what's the big takeaway from all of this? It's simple. Don't just study blindly, focus your revision on these high-yield topics. Absolutely master the stages of meiosis. Get super comfortable reading graphs in physics and chemistry, and really nail down your periodic trends and core ecological concepts. This is where the marks are, plain and simple.
This quote really says it all, doesn't it? The syllabus is designed to be overwhelming. The secret isn't to study more hours, it's to identify the patterns and master what truly matters.
So, we've given you the map, we've shown you exactly where the treasure is buried. The only question left is, now that you know the pattern, how are you going to use it to study smarter, not just harder? All the very best with your preparation. You've got this.